All right. First and foremost, all praise, glory, and honor be unto Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rachak. Peace and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect. The brother Achiar coming at you with another lesson of edification. I don't want Rathazai is edifying to the Lord's elect, right? Starting with the 144,000 all the way down to the very last member of the 1/3. All right. So getting into it now, it's just so many things to talk about, man. So much going on, the Wadi Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah for hastening these days, man. For hastening his judgments, for hastening the prophecies, and everything's just happening so fast now. You could tell that 2026 is a wholly different vibration than everything that's been happening up until this point. So we a little over a weekend, and we already have, which has been mentioned. I'm gonna say it again. Venezuela has been toppled, and so much things has been happening that's already like old news, and that just happened not even a week ago. That's how crazy it is right now, man. All right. As it is written, measure thou the time diligently. Okay. And that's what the Spirit has been upon us to do. Measure the time diligently of this wicked kingdom and how much time is left, which, as we can see by what's happening, there is very little time left. All right. And, that's what the lesson title is. Time's up. All right. Time's up for this man's kingdom. And I'm going to say this. I was out earlier, the grocery store, and I was just looking at, observing these Edomites walking around the store, and they just look completely defeated because it's like they know, looking at the news, looking at, they may be wicked, but they ain't naive. Okay. They are definitely not naive to what's going on. And they see, man, that this is the end of their world, man. Okay. As it is written, Sirach, the 10th chapter. All right. Because of riches gotten by deceit. All right. Everything about this kingdom has been riches gotten by deceit. It's been rape, robbery, and murder, which is how this man established this kingdom. Okay. And now we have him going in the way of the ancient Romans, the ancient Greeks. Trump is really moving in that Antiochus Epiphanes spirit. Okay. When you look at what Antiochus Epiphanes did, he led his demise came because he was stretching the kingdom, right? Which at the time he had the Seleucid Empire, all right, which was one of the fractured parts of the Greek Empire after Alexander the Great. Alexander the Greek, right, died, and it was split up to his 4 generals. All right, so Antiochus Epiphanes was part of that Seleucid kingdom. All right. So, there's just so many things to speak on. Yeah, Shalom, bro. How about Shemi Al-Shai Brakatad? Other put ill-gotten gains, and that's what has happened, man. Ill-gotten gains. So now the chickens are coming home to roost. And man, how sweet it is. Oh, how sweet it is to be loved by you. Be loved by you. How about Shemi Al-Shai, man? Because, whoo, shit is going down, man. Shit is going down. And, just trying to gather the thoughts because it's just, man, it's so much happening. Venezuela is an afterthought at this point because you have a civil unrest once again breaking out in the U.S. And as I was talking with the brothers, the brother Bukhari Maf made the point about basically they'll go 1 step backward and then 3 steps forward. It's how they're trying to talk things down and simmer it down, but the second they do that, it intensifies more because Trump said, we're going to take the troops out of here and there, but we do reserve the right. If you notice, he drops a lot of hints about what he's going to do. All right, just so that it ain't all at once. So if you notice, he mentioned Greenland many times before. Last year he mentioned it before this whole thing exploded into now they're about to apparently take Greenland to where Denmark And certain EU nations, there's talks of them being on high alert for military intervention from the US. And that's the allies. So clearly we see who the hammer of the whole earth is. Clearly we see Revelation. And the Lord put the spirit on us to know all these things before it got as obvious as it is now. We've been known who Esau Edom is. We've been known who the red horse, the rod of the red horse, and what that represents. He who takes peace from the earth. He's given a great sword. All right. But now it's so obvious to where how can you deny that he is the red horse? Adawam means red. And clearly he's taking peace from the earth, even from his own allies. He's going wild, man. He's going ballistic because the small hats, they never had a man in that office. And it clearly is set up by the Lord, man. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You never had a man in that office that was as pro-Israel. They call him the first small hat president. That dude, I forget the small hat's name. He's one of those guys. Levin might be his last name, but he was strong arming Trump. You know, and you never. But he said he's the first small hat president, first-ish president, right? But you never had a man in that office as bold as him to say certain things that like they might be afraid to say. So they're like, shit. You know, the way that the Lord has his mouthpiece going. All right, he's the mouthpiece of Satan. All right, we're the mouthpiece on the right hand. He's the mouthpiece on the left hand. Okay, and he's bringing them to a judgment. All right, this is Sirach 10:8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is transferred from one people to another. And that where else fits that more than this place, America, Babylon the Great? And yet they stand on they claim to stand on the moral high ground. You know, we're doing this for the Venezuelans. You know, we're gonna take all your oil, 50 million barrels to be exact. You know, we're gonna make it benefit the American people and the Venezuelan people. And you know, they're trying to portray themselves. You know, what does the scripture say though? His hand shall seek to please the poor. Mark 11, right? That damn demon, you know. But his hand shall seek to please the poor. Okay, so he's sitting here, oh yeah, you know, the Venezuelans, they needed our help and da da da. When they were going through sanctions, when their country was jacked up, American sanctions, when their currency was completely devalued, when people were starving and destroyed, where was the help then? They're only of value to you as much as you could use them. You know, you only willing to help them, which you ain't helping them, but that's just for argument's sake of what they're saying. As long as you can get their oil. It says, when have the oil companies been benevolent to want to help working class and poor people, man? They have not. But this is the madness of Esau, man. It's a criminal cartel of devils, man. They're the real cartel. Okay, and they go around pillaging the earth and taking what they please. But at the same time, the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. This is their time to do what they do. So, hey, more power to you, man. I'm gonna get this in Lamentations. They're tying in with the lesson. Let's see. Yeah, this is the book of Lamentations. Get right to it. Lamentations 4:21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwelleth in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. And that you see that playing out right now, man. We're at the end of our captivity, man. You know, you brothers out there, you sincere sisters, you should be ecstatic, man. As happy as can be about what's going on in this earth, man, because our redemption draweth nigh, man. This is clearly, you know, from this point on is going to be basically a sprint to the finish. All right. Endure hardness as a good soldier for Yahweh Shai, man. So as much as we know that shit is popping off, things are going down, you know, it's not for us to get puffed up or to let up. This is for the time even go harder, man. Knowing that our enemy is down, you know. But it says here, he will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. All right. There's a lot of, you know, horrific judgments written in this book for the nation of Edom. America about to spread itself out to, yeah, I can't read the last part because it's damn whatever dollar sign shit they have here. I can't really see what else you put there. But yeah, I'm gonna just keep reading this. It says Ezekiel, okay, Ezekiel, Ezekiel 35:5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Spread. Oh, okay, then I didn't see that part. Salakia. All right, the water, it spread itself out thin. That's exactly what Antiochus Epiphanes did, and we brought it up many times. The ships of Kittim, when he went to go to try to take Egypt down, and with his military adventurism, you know, going on these, adventures with his armies, having all of this power, he did foolishness with it, you know. And when he went to go to Egypt, which was the breadbasket of the world, and also particularly of Rome at the time, all right, Gaius Popinius Linnaeus went to him, which was basically a representative or an ambassador from Rome, and drew that line in the sand. And if you cross that line, that's your ass, man. Basically, you're going to be at war with the Roman Republic. And there is you can liken that unto how they're dealing with these Russians right now. The line has been drawn in the sand, and they're continuously crossing that line. That's why Oreshniks today, it's just like brothers be dropping so much in the man. Every time I look down, I'm excited. I'm like, okay, what brothers dropping now? Oh, something new. Oh, something new. Oh, Oreshniks drop. Oh, they moving on Kiev. Oh, they moving on Ukraine. Oh, Iran about to get hit. Oh, this happened. It's just so much, man. That's why we got to be locked in, watch and pray that you enter not into temptation. All right. But why? Because they have had a perpetual hatred against the children of Israel. So let's read that again. Ezekiel 35:5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. If thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. All right. And even though they took down the head of Venezuela, don't think that that's over with. They're not going to just be able to go over there and just have an easy time. All right. Because they're spreading themselves thin, man. Okay. All of the Western propaganda. All of the Venezuelans just love it. They're just so ecstatic about it. And there probably is a bunch of dumbasses over there that are happy that America is colonizing them. All right. Which Russia and China was doing the same. It's all evil at the end of the day, but you going from one captor to a worse one and you celebrating it. You look like a fucking idiot. But a lot of them are not happy about what's happening, man. A lot of the people, they're not going to show you the protest of them taking out the head of state, Maduro, man. But anyways, tying it back in with everything else that's been going on, you have unrest in the states once again, and they pulled out the troops from different cities, and now they're about to go super hard on Minnesota. You have all of a sudden, like clockwork, you have the protests. Yeah, listen, everybody that I know got to work their ass off too hard to go out and protest. So, my estimation, and you brothers out there also probably see it as well, is that it's set up, because that who has the time to just go out and march the streets, man? They're set up. Okay, they are paid. A lot of times people are paid. Hey, money talks, bullshit walks, man. You'd be surprised how much. Then again, you brothers that know better wouldn't be surprised. I'm just, figure of speech that you'll be surprised, how much money goes into this propaganda machine and how far they're willing to go to push these protests and different things to incite riots and things like that. Okay. So you had this thing with the governor, he was caught in some corruption too with the Somalis, Tim Walz in Minnesota. I think it was in Minnesota. And now all of a sudden this happens, and now they have more of a reason. They already demonized that whole state for what's been going on. Now they have more of a reason. So we're gonna see, man. Sparks gonna fly this weekend. It ain't letting up, man. And it's been a time where we've been preaching this word, and as long as the Spirit is on us and the Lord has us continue to go out and do it, we're gonna keep doing it. But we're coming into the time quickly, man, where this I already envisioned it. Today I was just imagining, like thinking about it, like we're not gonna be on YouTube for much longer, man. You know, when they start talking about IDs and different things, they want to do that this year. This may be the last year that this may be the last January, of us doing videos. The last winter of us going out on the highways and hedges. It may just be, it may not, but it's just crazy to think that that's even that close, to even think of it like that. So, things are just rapid fire right now. Okay. You also have talks about, in the midst of all this, all right, you have talks about them, preparing and having a military buildup to hit Iran. Then you have Trump saying he's going to go after the cartels. Then you have the thing with Greenland. You have the hatred, the beast hating the whore. It's many, 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 many things going on. So I could have, it was the thing of maybe focus on one thing, but Spirit jumped on me to just go live and just speak on everything because it's just, it's so many things. Cuba, yeah. Mexico, Colombia, all right. That's my country. All right. Well, that's where my father was born. I was born here, but that's where I'm from. That's where my lineage goes back to, being from the tribe of Asher. And yeah, man, they going for it, man. And Trump is the perfect devil to be in that position. Being a raging megalomaniac and egomaniac to push that line, man. His look is more stout than his fellows, clearly, and they're not gonna let up. From here on out, everything you're gonna see is gonna be all out. Okay, and if they do this with Iran again, there is a very high chance that they're gonna cut the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, and the price of oil will go astronomical, which is why strategically it makes sense that they try to secure Venezuela so they can get some of that oil and secure it before they go and hit Iran. So it was all lined up and strategic. It was in a particular order. They didn't go for Iran first and then say, well, we're going to get Venezuela. They got Venezuela. All right. And, it's not that easy to you just take the head of state out and then that's it, man. It is not that easy. All right. They want to make you think that it's that easy. When Trump gets up there, yeah, I spoke to the vice president. You don't even know if he spoke to them or not. He's a known liar, man. He admitted he lied. So he could just be capping. He is capping about a bunch of different things. He said, I spoke to the vice president. They're completely with it. You just took the head of state out. And they're just all gonna bow down. That's what he wants you to think. Because now Americans get to think, oh yeah, go Trump, go USA, because in wartime, they have that effect on the people where they get more patriotic, even though now a lot of people are waking up to the bullshit, but you still have many, many millions of masses of people that are stupid. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I said. Trump said, grab him by the pussy. He's going to grape these countries, man. All right. He grabbed Venezuela by the pussy. All right. you know, um, Metaphorically speaking, man. So they going for it, man. Yeah, yeah. They're not waiting up, and guess what, man? Yahweh Shai is getting ready to come back any day now, man. So we just need a couple more prophecies to pop off, and they're going hard with the digital IDs and everything. That with how fast they're moving, you could tell that this is the year that they plan on making the move. All right, making big, big movements. In robotics and AI and setting up the beast system in World War III. It's all a perfect crescendo of prophecy moving towards the same point, the choke point. And the choke point is going to be when Yahweh Shai returns and annihilates this kingdom. All right. I'm going to read this. Matthew 24:6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. All right. So, we're in the time where we've seen the wars and rumors of wars, and we're getting to the point where many of the rumors will be passed, and we're just going to be in straight up a state of war, man. Okay. Yep. So yeah, I got this in Daniel 11. This is a historical event that happened. I'm going to apply it to now. Okay. This is Daniel 11 and 30. For the ships of Kittim shall come against him. Therefore he shall be grieved and return and have indignation against the holy covenant. So shall he do. He shall even return and have intelligence with them that forsake the holy covenant. All right. So basically, when you go into what happened historically, this was Antiochus Epiphanes going to try to take down Egypt. All right. And the Romans stopped him. All right. And I mentioned the man that was the envoy from Rome, Gaius Popinus Linnaeus. I get his name wrong sometimes, so I might be a little off on the name. But basically, he's the one that drew that line in the sand. All right. And right now, you have a lot of the same thing popping off in the sense of you have him spreading himself too thin. I'm over here. He got his hand in this cookie jar, that cookie jar. I'm snatching this up. I'm snatching that up. They calling it the Monroe Doctrine, which is a throwback to the Monroe Doctrine. All right, which is basically an imperialist doctrine. All right. And you see America really coming into that spirit of the Roman Empire. Okay. From a republic to an empire, because an empire has a dictator, has a Caesar, and we call him Nero 47. You know, I think it's very spiritual that he's been referred to as Nero because Nero was one of those Caesars. All right. And that is America's truly coming into that spirit. And, you know, honestly, even from the jump, you brothers know that even though it's been called a democracy, the presidents have been chosen. All right. They're not elected, they're selected by the elites. But when you look at it now, they're not even trying to keep that charade up. They put their guy in there. All right. He's the most pro Zion president of all time. All right. He's basically a small hat, an honorary small hat. Okay. And they're at the point where they don't give a damn. They're coming out with it. They want to take down these nations. They want to take down Greenland. They want to take down Mexico, Cuba. You know, he's wrapping his tentacles around the earth. And really, it's because they want to have that influence to put that beast system in. All right. And honestly, they talk about, oh, he's broken international law. Like, when has he ever given a damn about international law? You know, he doesn't care about international law, the law of the Most High, and he breaks his own laws that he makes up. They're not even subject to their own laws, man. Even when you look at America, when they made certain legislation, they don't even abide by it. When they made legislation back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, certain things about so-called civil rights for Jake, which really didn't help Jake. Okay. But for example, when they made it so that you cannot discriminate against somebody in the purchase of a house, the Supreme Court had a decision on it, and it didn't matter because who's going to enforce it? They were the same devils, man. They were the same demons, and they had the Supreme Court made a decision. So the fuck what? Because at the end of the day, in this world, if you don't have the might, if you don't, might makes right. That's the world of the so-called white man. If you don't have the power to enforce the rules, international law, okay, great, but how are you going to enforce it? And that's what people, they assume that, yeah, America, they're just going to play nice. They're going to, it's international law. You have to follow it. No, they don't give a damn. They never did. Now they're just telling you, being honest, that they don't give a damn. And they have the perfect puppet in there to where he's the mouthpiece that's going to say, yeah, listen, man, fuck it. Fuck international law. Only thing that's going to stop him is his so-called morals. And he don't have any. So there's nothing that's going to hold him back. Okay? They're going for it, man. Complete control and world domination. And it's beautiful because now puff him up some more. And when Yahweh Shah comes back, he's going to strike him down even harder, man. Okay? So that's the beauty of it. They make them and break them. Yeah. Okay? What does law say to the lawless man? He don't even abide by his own laws. And that's why when we are in the kingdom, even the way that we engage with the heathen is going to be subject to a certain code, man. All right. It's not just going to be, the law of the jungle, might makes right. No, We're going to be perfect in the kingdom, and we're going to be perfect, righteous judges and kings. Lord's will, we be a part of the first fruits, the elect, and we're going to execute judgment and righteousness when we deal with the heathen. We're going to have to go by and abide by the laws, man. There's even laws in the scriptures where if the heathen, they bow down and they are become tributaries unto us, we have to, allow them to serve us. Okay, which means they basically bow down and willingly become our slaves. All right. Which is why when you read 2 Ezra 13, it says that they were scared, but there's fight. The Lord gonna put the spirit on them to fight. Because if they bow down and they just, if they say that they're going to serve Yahushua and be slaves to Israel, then technically, according to the law, then he wouldn't be able to destroy them. But then at the end of the day, they're idolaters anyways. But they're gonna have the spirit to fight the Lord. That's the point. All right. But everything this kingdom has done, the Lord is fully justified in annihilating billions of people. And that's what he's going to do. That's exactly what he's going to do, man. All right. This is Psalms 94:20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law? Okay. That's what they do, man. They frame mischief by a law. All right. So the international, they said international law says you can't take a head of state. Okay, cool. They broke that law. That's what Trump is basically. Yeah, we broke that law. So what are you going to do about it? It's the equivalent of you going up to a bully on the playground and saying, I don't like what you did. Okay. So what, nigga? You going to stop me? They're not going to be able to stop him, man. Okay. To the point where they're going to say, well, listen, the only thing, and the Lord going to put that thought in their mind, only way to stop this is to just fire missiles on America and Israel. And then the missiles are going to go back. And in the midst of that, which again, this is all part of the thought that the Lord put in their mind. Okay, Doomsday. That's why they putting that movie out this year, the end of the year, Avengers Doomsday. You think that a movie like that is coming out and they don't know what's going on and the timing of everything that's going on, and the fact that they are, we know that Hollywood is heavily involved with the left hand. They put that out because they know by the time we get to the end of this year, man, hey, a nuke may have flew in one part of the world, or a tactical nuke or something. Even if that's not the case, everything is going to be amplified. Because leading up to it, you're going to be on the verge of World War III. And the only thing that's holding it back is the fact that the chip has to drop, the MOTB, because that's the hour of temptation, and that will define and show who's who. Who has their allegiance to the Most High, who has their allegiance to this world, man. All right. And you don't want to be caught up in a Demas spirit, a dumbass Demas. All right. Demas have forsaken me. That's what Paul said. Why? Because he loved the world more than Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So we don't want to get caught in that spirit. Okay. But you have a lot of things, a lot of things going down. And it's important that we stay grounded and rooted in Yahushai, man. Don't think, oh yeah, everything's going down, and then we kind of let off on the gas pedal. We got to stay locked in and maintain our poise, man. You've seen a lot of fights where the guy is up and he kind of gets cocky and he starts, playing with his food. And then before you know it, he gets overtaken. So we don't want to allow that to happen. Ultimately, it's all up to the Lord. So we pray to the Lord that he maintain us through his Holy Spirit. All right. But all these things are happening, man. And it's accelerating, and the elites, they know that World War III is coming. They know, and they are weaving these situations, which is the Most High through the left hand doing it to bring their own judgment, bring their demise. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. The Lord controls the elites on the left hand. So they think they're going to have World War III come, fire the missiles, okay, and they're going to hide away in their bunkers and then restart society anew. But that's not going to be how it plays out. Yahushua is going to save his elect. And they know that the majority of Israel is here in America, especially the prophets and the elect, So in they carnal minds, they think, oh shit, we just wipe that shit out. We're going to just wipe away that message. But that message, man, once you take us off the internet, things are going to happen like that. All right, super rapid fire. And Yahweh Shai is going to come back. All right. Yahweh Shai, the son of the Most High, is going to come back and save his elect, his woman. All right. And that's going to be the second Passover, which is going to overshadow the ancient Passover. And when that happens, that's it, man. That's it. Your kingdom is done for. We're going to come find you. Lord's will, we have the elect. Yahweh Shai and his men are going to come find you in whatever bunker, whatever underground sanctuary, underwater, wherever you at. Hey, we're going to find your ass, man. We're going to pull you out of that motherfucker and we're going to put chains and shackles on you, man. We're going to beat your ass for 1,000 years. Okay? So go ahead and get on what you got to do. All right? And Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is going to hasten this thing and annihilate this kingdom, man. All right? And I looked around the other day and I was like, man, all of this is about to fade away. All these people, you go to the store, you see these people shopping. Everybody that you see basically is going to die. Only ones that's going to make it is a very small number of which is the elect. Okay? A very few. All right? The righteous shall scarcely be saved. I'm over here looking at these Edomites and these through-ass Jakes, which we don't know who the elect is. So, you try to do your best to live peaceably with all men. But as I was looking around, I was like, man, all of this is about to fade away. All of this is about to be gone. And we see so many signs happening that's very soon, man. So we have to, examine ourselves and make sure our heart, our mind is in the right place. Right? And I'm gonna read this. Get rid of this, close this thing out. This is Matthew 6:19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. But where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Make this truth your treasure. Make Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai your treasure. Make the Akim, the brotherhood, your treasure. Make, spending time going into these scriptures and getting into the watching for prophecies your treasure. All right. Make, getting into these, the knowledge and wisdom and understanding, applying it with the, when it comes to health. There's all out assault on our health, man. May Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai preserve you, sincere, faithful men out there that's of the elect and your household. All right. Whoever may be of the elect that's out there, man. Because there's an all out assault on us, man. So everything we got to do, we got to keep our eyes on the prize and keep our mind on the kingdom, because shit is going left. This world is completely over with, man. There's nothing left here for us. Not a thing here left for us, man. So we got to look towards what's next, which is the kingdom of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man. Whatever identity we had in this world, whatever status we had in this world, whatever people and things like, hey, just keep in mind that it's all getting ready to fade away. And as I thought about that, I was in the store and I just was looking around. I had that moment, the moment where like everything's happened around you and you there, but you're not even there. That's what I was thinking about. And I was like, man, like this is literally all about to fade away. Nothing will be left here whatsoever. So I'm like, man, like you got really detached from this place. And at that moment, I felt like not even attached to anything in the world, man. I was like, this could all burn and I'll be happy. This could all burn and we'll all be rejoicing, man. This is 2 Peter 3:10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Okay, and that's what's getting ready to happen, man. What this is telling you is that everything that you see around you that you could value or that you may value, that you look at and you say, oh man, I could have an attachment to this, it's all going to burn up. Whatever car, whatever house, whatever apartment, whatever, little bitch you like to mess with, she probably gonna melt too. If she's elect, then she's gonna make it. The woman that you might be into, she might even be into you, but if she takes that chip, she's done for. Got to be detached from this world, man. And pray for the Lord to put the spirit on us to be detached from this world. But it says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons are you to be in all holy conversation and godliness, Store them treasures in heaven, man. That's the only thing that matters. All right. Not gonna be complaining about, yeah, I'm not doing 3 videos a day. I'm not gonna scoff at that. I'm not gonna mock doing more of the works of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua because I'm not attached to this world. All right. Looking for and hasten unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. You know? So, hey, man, you know, that speaks for itself. Shalom, shalom. It's the book of Second Ezra 9 and 15. I have said before, and now do speak, and will speak it also hereafter, that there be many more of them which perish than of them which shall be saved. There you have it. Everybody you see around you, the lady at the grocery store that you say, oh, hey, how you doing? All right, have a good one. You know, they all gonna fade away, man. Only ones that's gonna make it is of the elect. Like as a wave is greater than a drop. Okay. And therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished, and when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, who the world is and for whom the world is created. You see, and that's why we're inquiring about where's the elect. Yeah, exactly. That's De Niro from that movie. Yeah, not get attached to anything you are not willing to walk out on in 30 seconds flat if you feel the heat around the corner. You see? And that heat is coming. Don't remember, what did Yahweh Shai say? Remember Lot's wife. You know? Gotta meditate on the kingdom, meditate on the new bodies, meditate on forever, man, because everything here is temporal. It's temporary, it's getting ready to fade away. It's getting ready to be completely obliterated, man. Everything is gonna be disintegrated. Disintegrated, nothing left, man. Social media, the this, the that, the cloud, who you are, do you have this, you making money, you ain't making money, oh, you're a bum. It's not gonna fucking matter. Are you with the Lord or not? That's all that matters, man. All right. Yeah, that's a great one. The brother how was One Testament put Second Ezra 8 and 1. And he answered me, saying, the Most High hath made this world for many, but the world to come for few. But I will tell thee a similitude, Esdras, as when thou askest the earth, it shall say unto thee that it giveth much mold, whereof earthen vessels are made, but little dust that gold cometh of. Even so is the course of this present world, you see? So that gold is who? The elect. Okay? You don't find a lot of gold on the earth, man. It's a very small number. Most will be destroyed. Isaiah 9 and 5, for every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. See, exactly, man. Everything's going to be melted soon, man. World War III. They just hit Kiev with Oreshniks, man. They about to make their move on Ukraine. China, I can see making a move on Taiwan any day now. And, you know, that's pretty much it. America is making its move on South America. Babylon, the United States, making its move on South America, which it ain't gonna end with Venezuela. That's just the beginning. All right, but we know the choke point that's gonna bring it to the drama king. All right, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is gonna bring it to the climax when they go for Iran, and that's exactly what they've been talking about doing. There's a build up. They're talking about it, and we know they like to move. They're not gonna make a big announcement and say, "Well, we are, commencing a military." No, they're just gonna do it. You're gonna hear about it, and then afterwards, they're gonna talk about it. But it ain't gonna be the same this time, man. It ain't gonna be like last year when they did this shit. Everything is accelerated, man. All right, and as the spirit is on me to say before, acceleration. When you deal with something that's falling, I saw Satan as lightning falling from heaven, paraphrasing it. So when something's falling down from the sky, every second it goes faster than it was before. It doesn't stay at the same velocity. The velocity increases till when it reaches terminal velocity. So it's 9.8 meters per second. So every time it goes faster and faster and faster. It continues to accelerate until it's like it's like an Oreshnik coming down, hitting the earth, man. As quick as them Oreshniks coming down in that video. I don't know if y'all saw that video, but them Oreshniks, I see why John the Revelator described it as stars falling from heaven, because that's what those Oreshniks look like. They might have, they putting them in it ain't a might have. I believe they already put them in Belarus. So and they're hitting Ukraine with Oreshniks. So you got, yeah, man, it's up. It's up. And as fast as those Oreshniks smash into the earth, all right, is as fast as this man's kingdom is going down. All right. Them shits hit like Mach, I don't even know, 15, 20, some ridiculous number, man, of speed. Yeah, man. How about Shem Shai is making it happen. So, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and close this thing out. Adawan Ratazah, this is edifying. All praise be unto Yahweh, Shem, Yahweh Shai, by Shem Makak Wadash. Shalom to the next one. Shalom, shalom.